13 mitigator Ford Fusion. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.tv.
Driver of the number 5 Kiker Motorsports Camry. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing TV.
With Rockingham Speedway. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Tony Peter, driver of the number 17 Toyota in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, this is Dylan Smith. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Amber Colvin, and I'd like to thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hello everybody, welcome to Let's Talk Racing. Got myself and Jack Dodson. Got it straight that time.
There, you got it right. You wasn't like Billy Ballou, he called me John, man.
I know. Oh well, what can we say? Stuff happens. Or as they say, shit happens.
We got that right, a whole lot of it happens.
So we were talking a little bit while ago about Finch. Well, you got a little bit of the scuttlebutt in the background, I'm sure.
Phoenix Racing, they have set a July 15th drop dead date. Either the team will be sold on the 15th or they will shut the doors on the 15th. And there is a letter of intent for purchasing the team. Rumor has it, and this is a rumor, and it's not official until the letter of intent is put out there or approved or whatever has to be done, that Harry Scott from Turner Scott Motorsports is involved in the purchasing of Phoenix. I'll even go one step further. The word is Brandt, the nationwide sponsor for Justin Allgaier, is going to move to the Cup car with Justin Allgaier going
Oh, that would be sweet.
With Justin Allgaier going to drive that car. That's the hot rumor this week from down there. But if the letter of intent, the purchase doesn't go through or whatever, July 15th will be the drop dead date for Phoenix Racing. They will shut the door at that time. Mr. Finch says he's not going to extend it.
Well, and Justin is a good driver. I remember every time I watch him in the Nationwide Series, especially last year, he would always be running good, and the only thing that was killing him was all the bushwhackers.
Mm-hmm. He's having a good year this year. He's running up front every week and having good runs, and so I think this is basically a situation where Harry Scott wants to move him to Cup, and this is the perfect opportunity. Now I've heard that it'll be taken into the Turner Scott company and moved into that, like a kind of move it all together.
Right.
And then I've also heard that Harry Scott is going to do that separately from the others. He's going to own that team and still be involved in the nationwide stuff with Turner. That's just waiting to see what happens when all that comes out. But Mr. Finch has told his employees that that's it. July 15th, we will be shutting the doors, or it will be purchased. And I hate to see him get out of the sport, but he says he's had all he can take as far as the financial end of it, and he would be willing to stay on to help them, get started and move along. But as of July 15th, no more of his money is going to be involved in it. So,
hey, that's sooner or later you got to turn off that flow of money going out because it doesn't come back.
Yeah. he's going to run the 2 cars at Daytona this weekend. He's going to have A.J. Allmendinger in his Cup car, and he's going to have Kurt Busch in the Nationwide car, and it's going to have the City Chevrolet cold trickle paint scheme.
Geez.
And if you look on somewhere on the internet, there's a thing about they did a takeoff on that for a commercial to promote that car, and it's hilarious. It's got Mr. Hendricks involved in it. He's part of the commercial, and Nick Harrison, the crew chief at Phoenix, and Kurt too. And it's funny. It's really funny. But that's the way it's going right now. A lot of new paint schemes this weekend for the race at Daytona. There's going to be some new paint schemes and really some good looking cars down there under the lights this weekend.
Cool deal. What's some of the other stuff you know of kicking in the background there?
I've heard a lot of little things going on. That things, some changes are going to be made at. I understand that one of the changes they're looking at making is the Penske is going to go to 3 cars next year.
I wonder who might be in that 3rd car.
Yeah, well, that's true. I think we know who that's going to be.
Ding ding.
And
Ding ding.
Ryan Newman looks like him and Kevin Harvick are just going to switch places next year. Harvick's going to go to Stuart Haas,
and then Ryan's going to go to.
And Ryan's going to be driving the 29, and
that's going to be different.
Jeff Burton says he's going to still be there next year. Now I've heard Jeff Burton's not going to be there next year. I heard that he's going to be out, and Austin Dillon is going to take his car next year. So
they can. Well, how many? They got what? 1, 2, 3. Well, when he's been running, they've been running
Finch's car.
Yeah.
When Austin now
or,
they have
they'll run the 33 car.
The 33 car,
right.
which is Circle Sport racing car.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that's going to work out too. Because they're saying I've heard Jeff Burton's not going to be there next year. He says he is, but I don't think he has a contract for next year yet. So it's just a lot of little things going on in the racing world.
In the world of racing.
But I love it. I love getting in the middle of it.
Really? Do you?
I love it. I think I like to during the week. I try to get in as many of those conversations as I can possibly get.
But now, so your son is finally down at.
My son is at Hendrick Motorsports, started, and he's working on the 24 car. Hasn't gone to the track yet, but he's in the shop working with them right now, and he may very well be going to Daytona this weekend. I don't know for a fact. I haven't talked to him in a couple of days, but everything is going good for him, and he's back in the working world, and so I'm happy for him. He's done very well to get back to where he was at, and I'm tickled to death. I mean, it wasn't what everybody thought it was, and it was just a simple mistake. So he made it good. So I'm happy.
Good deal. Let's see, Robert Richardson. He's going to be running this weekend at Daytona. I still don't know what the thing is with the stalk-it that he has on the side of the car.
I thought that was a new sponsor. I saw it the other day on the internet, and I thought for sure that's what it was. That was another sponsor. But I don't know. Don't have a way of finding out for sure exactly what that is.
Well, I mean, he just told me he doesn't actually have one, so he's probably still going to be doing the pipe sponsor thing. I don't know if they were just testing some stuff out or what. Is this an older one? He just happened to put the picture up there or something?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that at all. I've never seen that car before. I mean, I don't.
The stock reminds me of something, but I don't remember, and it's going to be probably one of those things that we'll just have to. I'll just have to catch up with him later on.
Find out what the deal is with him.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be some good racing this weekend at Daytona. As long as the rain don't kick in again this weekend. It was pouring down rain down there today, from what I understand. The nationwide cars were going through Tech today, and it was pouring down rain then. So
Now, Langley. You know Langley's running Friday night, right? Instead of Saturday.
I heard
night?
they were running Friday night.
Okay.
And South Boston's running tomorrow. They were supposed to run tonight, and they canceled it for tonight and are going to run it tomorrow. So that's what I heard today. Because Deke McCaskill and a couple of other guys from other tracks were supposed to be going to South Boston to run that race. So, from what I understand, it's some kind of special.
One of the $5,000 to win type things.
I don't know. I guess it's some kind of special race they've got going on, and I found out about it too late. So I just.
I'm just playing here in the chat room.
Oh, okay. I thought.
I'm multitasking.
So, what else is going on in the good world? Did you watch the racing this weekend?
Let's see. Where were we? Sonoma.
No.
No, hold it.
Kentucky.
Kentucky, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's right. We were talking about all the rain and everything out there with CJ and all them when they were getting ready for the truck race. He did it. He did his top 20. He finished 19th, I believe it was.
And I talked to him Monday. By text. I texted him Monday and talked to him, and he was pretty. It sounded like he was through a text. He was happy about it. He got a top 20, and he logged the laps and brought home a clean truck. The truck was not messed up or anything. So. But I'm gonna tell you something. They tore up some stuff down there this weekend with the Nationwide and the and the Cup cars.
Now, what do you think about the issue with the little tap by Kurt Busch into Brad Keselowski?
Kurt knew he was wrong for doing what he did. Why you would run down there on that apron, and I understand in qualifying they all do it, and then they think they can pick up a spot down there. But where he came back up on the track, they were talking about it on TV that there's a drain there. So you hit that, and it throws your car out, and it just threw him. And I mean, he had nowhere to go but run right into the side of him.
Yeah, I saw the little bit of bump and thump there when he was over there.
So it was. I mean, he had no choice. That's just the way it was.
So I remember I need to bring up the number.
Got a good show tonight with Mardy Lindley and Shawna Robinson. And,
it is MARDY, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and Sterling Marlin.
I know how to spell that one at least.
I am tickled to death. I've always wanted to talk to Sterling Marlin. I don't know why. I mean, I've met him and I've talked to him. I'm talking, but always like to interview him and see what.
When
he is funny.
When he first won his Daytona 500, him and Tony Glover, I took and had made up a shirt and everything with both their pictures on it and a whole bunch of other stuff and sent it to him. Never got a thank you or nothing. But anyway, that's just what it is.
With Sterling, I went to Daytona a couple years ago, and he's a legend down there with all them people down there in Daytona. They love him to death down there.
Yeah. All right, let's get Marty here.
Mardy Lindley, how you doing?
Good.
This is Jack Dodson. How's it going?
Oh, fine, Jack. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just calling to catch up with you and see how things are going and what's going on in your racing life right now.
Oh man, Jake, it's a lot of work. I work at Turner Scott Motorsports now. I guess you know that from the race up in Hampton, Virginia last weekend. But just a lot of work trying to get road course car ready to go test here in a few weeks.
So you're Dylan Kwasniewski's crew chief, and how's it working with Dylan?
Oh, Dylan, he's a great kid. Got a lot of talent. It's been all good. It's really gone better than I expected it to. We've had a couple bad races, but other than that, everything's been really good for us.
You had a good one up here in Langley when you came up here. Y'all were doing real good there.
Yeah, we did. We started out as the box strong. We won the race at Bristol, the first Canyon race at Bristol, and had a bad race at Greenville Pickens and Richmond, and really just didn't have a lot of time to do any testing because he's in school out in Las Vegas, but now he's graduated and got to do some testing before the race at Bowman Gray, and really should have went to Bowman Gray and run second, had that race won, and he got turned around late in the race and made it back to second. And we finished second in Iowa the very next week, and got credit for the East win because we were the first East driver, and then come to Langley and won that race. So we've had 3 really strong races, and trying to get ready for the mid-season charge here. We got a road course coming up, and we're building new road course cars, and just trying to get prepared to go into the championship.
Now, were you with Dylan last year on the West Series when he was out there, or?
No, I wasn't. This was my first year with him, and first year with Turner Scott Motorsports, and I've been on the Cup side I've been at Rouse Fenway for years over on the 16 Cup car, and did a lot of racing myself, and especially this type of racing, and just kind of got burned out on all that, and took a step back, and really enjoy racing again, doing what I love to do is this short track racing.
Well, that's what I was getting ready. That was one of the things I was going to ask you about tonight was your racing when you were doing the racing. I know you did the back in the old Hooters Pro Cup days because I remember seeing you at the racetracks with when that was going on. So give us a little background on you from where you started and what all you've done in racing to this point for people who don't know you.
Okay, I just like any other kid, 12, 13 years old, I started out racing go-karts and really started my car driving career at the Greenville Pickens Speedway, where I'm from. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina, in '93, and raced a limited schedule at Greenville Pickens Speedway in '93, and then went full-time in '94, '95, and actually won a track championship in '95 at Greenville. And then the Hooter Series started with late models, like straight rail super late models, 95, probably the end of 95, more towards 96. And we started doing that and raced the Hooters late models there, 96 and 97. And then they changed to the big body cars, kind of like the K&N cars, the old Nationwide cars. And from 99 to 2006, that's all I raced. I raced the USAR Pro Cup Series. I did that full time, and I had an opportunity to drive for Richard Childress some, and really thought we had a shot to getting a full-time nationwide deal with him. And really, when that didn't work out, I just kind of decided that I love to drive, that I had fun, and it was time to make a living racing instead of spending so much money racing. And I went to work for Rouse Fenway Racing, and I stayed there about almost 4.5 years. And the first year, I crew chief Rich's penthouse on his ARCA deal, and I really had a lot of success with that. And went on from that was in 2008. In 2009, I went to the Cup Series with Greg Bissell at Rouse Fenway and stayed there until the end of 2011. Got involved in the K&N Series, and it's a lot like the Hooters Pro Cup Series. I've been to a lot of the racetracks before. I've never been to Langley as a crew chief or working on a K&N car, but I'd watched my dad win so many races there before, so it's really a cool deal to be able to come up there and race, and also come up there and win the race. And that's what we're doing now. That's kind of a brief short story of my racing career.
Now you're working over at Turner Scott, and that's got to be a good situation over there with all the nationwide and trucks, and then of course you got the K&N car. He's doing a good job with what he's got over there.
He is. Steve and Harry Scott, they do stuff first class. We have a lot of race teams at Turner Scott Motorsports. We have up to 5 K&N teams, 3 full-time teams, and we run as many as 5 cars at 7 of the races this year. So, it's just a first class deal. They give us all the tools, all the cars we need, and of course, Dylan's a great driver. We've got great sponsors with Rockstar Energy Drink and Royal Purple Oil, and it's a really good opportunity for Dylan. He actually Dylan was the West champion last year, and he's actually got a legitimate shot of winning the East championship and making it, the back championship. Still a lot of racing left, but so far so good.
Or is there any chance that somewhere along the line, Dylan, and I think I've read this somewhere, but I'm not positive, that Dylan may be going to drive a truck sometime this year?
We'll just see. They're really talking about it. Maybe even a nation car or truck. It's very possible. Harry and Steve have lots of opportunities in both the Nationwide and Truck Series to make that happen. It just kind of depends on if it fits with the schedule, and it don't interfere with K&N, our efforts trying to win a championship.
Now, I know you probably can't say a whole lot about it if you do know anything about it, but I know you have some ties into James Finch down there with his organization. I mean, I know you know some of the guys. I'm not saying you work for them. I had like that. I know you know some of them. The rumor is that Harry Scott's going to try to purchase the team. What do you think about all that?
I don't know a whole lot about it. I haven't asked Harry any questions about it. I read some of the same things and I hear it. It's hearsay at the shop, and he's a smart businessman, and if he buys it, there's some really good reason that he's going to buy it, and there's sponsorship in place and drivers in place. That would be the only reason I would think he was going to buy it. I don't know that for sure. All of it's just speculation, but JC usually gets it right, and I'm kind of like you. I haven't asked a lot of questions at the shop. Worrying about our K&N car, but I'm hearing a lot of the same rumors as you are, and I really don't know if it's true or not.
Well, I was kind of one. I know you. I think you know Nick Harrison pretty good, and I've talked to him a couple times. He knows there's something going on, but he's not really sure what it is. And I sure hate to see James Finch go out of the sport.
I do. I just James has been in it so long, and he's one of the spent lots of his own money, and James has always done it James' way, and I do too. But I just it's such a in the same respect, I don't want to see him. He's worked hard all his life. He's had a successful business. You never want to see a guy like that. I really think James deserves a big sponsor to keep going. But racing, it's a great sport, but it's been unfair to a lot of people.
Now, over there at Turner Scott, you all basically have the same type of arrangement that James has with Hendrick. Y'all buy your chassis, or I'm sure the chassis and engines and everything from Hendrick. How does that work out for y'all? I mean, do you all work really good together with that, or?
Well, the only thing that we use to Turner Scott is the engines. We build our own chassis.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, we have our own chassis shop. Like I said, we do use their motors on the Nationwide and the truck side. our K&N motors actually come from a company called Triad Engine.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a NASCAR spec engine, so it's really a whole lot different engine than what they use on the Nationwide and the truck side.
So with Dylan doing as good as he is this year, down the road, do you see him probably next year or whatever moving up into another class?
I do. I don't look for Dylan to be K&N racing next year. I think Dylan is one of the top. I really think if things go right, I think you'll see Dylan race on Sunday. He's got a tremendous amount of talent. More talent. I've seen a lot of good drivers come up, and he reminds me a lot of Kyle Larson. Spent a lot of time with Kyle last year, and not how much talent he has. And Dylan's just got, he don't have quite the experience that Kyle Larson has because you don't race 130 races a year. But I'm telling you, Dylan has the speed, and he can go really fast. And a lot of times we have to slow him down, and that's a real good sign.
Yeah, it's a whole lot easier to slow him down than speed him up, I believe.
Yeah, it is, and I'm just, I've been around a lot of race car drivers in my life, and I just, I see really a lot of potential in him, and it just comes natural for him. It's most of these racetracks we go for the first time, and he just, like Langley, it took him 3 or 4 laps to pick up on it. He was about the 4th lap on the racetrack I've ever been to was about as fast as he ran the whole time he was there, and it was good enough to win the race.
Well, I'd be really remiss if I didn't mention your dad in this interview. I mean, that was one of the guys that I really pulled for him when I was coming along. I really liked Butch a lot, and I even ate dinner with him one time in Danville and talked to him coming back. And we were talking about it earlier. Didn't he drive at one time? Didn't he drive for Emmanuel Sabacus?
He sure did. He drove. I think it was back in 1982. He ran a season for Emmanuel, and they won a lot of races. They won not a lot of races, but they won some races, and even almost had a cup race won at Martinsville. They ran second at Martinsville in a cup race together.
Yeah, I remember that because that was about the same time that I saw him coming back from. We were coming back from Martinsville, and I saw him at the Western Steer in Danville, and had a nice conversation with him then. Well, I appreciate you taking time out to talk to us tonight, and we'll be talking to you again hopefully sometime soon when you get another win and get you back on the show again.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right, you got any sponsors, anything you want to thank for your team or whatever?
Like I say, I'm just blessed to be in the position I am, and really got some great people working for me, and all the people at Turner Scott Motorsports do one heck of a job. So that's about it.
Well, I hope I'm going to get down that way pretty soon. I'm going to try to stop by there and talk to you and check out Turner Scott Motorsports.
Come on anytime. Glad to have you.
All right, man. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you later, and thanks for your time.
Enjoy your holiday.
All right, thanks.
All right.
He's a good guy. But he was politically correct. I know they know more than what.
I can't say nothing.
I was trying to get him to,
to get a possible.
I'm trying to get something out of him because I'm not getting it from anywhere else right now.
Oh gosh.
But he's a good guy. I mean, I talked to him briefly at the race at Langley when he was up there. He was going through the fence up there, and I talked to him for a second. And and I remember him racing them Hooters Cup cars. I mean, he was good at that. So now we're going to try to call Shawna Robinson.
Yep. Now you do realize I'm not calling on the number that I usually tell everybody to call in on. This is the 806 race and 809 race number.
Oh, okay.
Those two. Hello, Shawna.
Yes.
How you doing? This is Jack Dodson with the Let's Talk Racing TV show. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Glad we had the opportunity to get you on the show.
Okay.
I want to ask you a question. You've been around. You were around the sport for a long time, and I know you know the situations with the female racers and everything. What do you take about this thing with Kyle Petty and Danica Patrick going on? You know I was going to hit you with that.
Am I on the air yet, or am I?
Yeah, you're on there. Oh yeah, you're on.
We're live all when you're on. If you're called in, you're live.
That. No, I mean, I would answer the same way either way. I just think that Kyle has, he comes from, I mean, growing up in the Petty family and old school racing, and then, you know, he just has his opinion, and I don't think that it's a bad thing for him to speak his opinion. It's just a different time and place, and, I mean, it was a little shocking to hear him say, you know, she's not a racer. I mean, I think it's just his opinion. So what you do with that, I thought it was pretty bold of him to do that. And I mean, I've always liked Kyle, and he's always been very positive and confident with me. And I think it's the point of where, like, you learn as you go, and you come from the back and you go to the front, and different things get you to different places. And I think he's just evaluating the situation that she's been in on her road to NASCAR. And maybe if he was in a time and place that he was evaluating her when she was running go-karts and open wheel, and she was building and beginning her racing career, then, I mean, he may have a totally different opinion. I think he's looking at it from the fact of going from open wheel into NASCAR and the road that she's taken on that route. And, I mean, I admire him for speaking his mind, and it's how he feels. And I'm sure that she's very used to getting all different kinds of opinions, and it's not going to slow her down on any path, I would think.
Have you ever met Danica? Or
Yes, I have. Actually, I have met Danica, and she was running open wheel. We were doing an event for Lynn St. James, Women in the Winner's Circle. And we actually went to dinner with her and her sister and another driver, and just basically hung out a little bit after our appearance before we all headed to the airport in different directions. And she, honestly, at that time, she was beginning her career in Indy, and she really had no desire to go stock car racing. And I think her heart was really set on open wheel and F1, and I think just with the development of NASCAR and her opportunities there, I mean, how could she say no? And she's a racer. And to me, what's being a racer is you have to be able to drive anything. I always go back to like an AJ Foyt, and you have to be able to run anything you get in on dirt, asphalt, open wheel, whatever you adapt to whatever car you're in, whatever situation you're in. So going to stock cars was really a great move for her, and then financially a great move with GoDaddy supporting it and going in the best way you can go in. It's good equipment.
now you have a history in the sport, and a lot of people probably don't know. A lot of people who probably listen to the show don't know, you know, where you started and all along. Can you give us a little background where you started and what's going on with you now?
Yeah, I started in, well, I grew up in Iowa in the Midwest. My dad was a racer. He raced just the local racetracks around Iowa and Des Moines and Boone and Cedar Rapids, and he ran mainly dirt. And then USAC was a big series then that was stock cars, and he ran Milwaukee, Pocono, so he did some traveling with racing. And then when I graduated high school, he started promoting races, and my dad was definitely like, we always kind of called him the circus leader because we all felt like we were part of the circus. And my mom worked in the ticket office, and my aunts, and so it was very, very much a family event. And then I was actually going to travel with him to learn about marketing and buying commercial time, stuff like that. And And I just jumped in one of the trucks, which was what he started traveling with on the road promotions. And I started racing in big semi-trucks, which was shortly after the movie Smokey the Bandit, which I'm sure a lot of listeners don't have a clue what I'm talking about, but that was a different way of a racing series called Gator and Great American Truck Racing. It was basically started out right off the street, like semi-trucks. They drop the trailer in the parking lot and go race. Now, when I started, it was a little bit more modified. The trucks were lowered and the engines moved back and modified as a car would be modified. So, even though it was done, that was done, they still weighed 6,000 pounds. So that's why what I attribute just being able to adapt quickly to different situations and different equipment is because I never ran one racetrack all the time. Every weekend we would run 40 to 60 races a year because we ran the same schedule similar to the World of Outlaws. And I mean, we would race on Wednesday nights, Friday nights, Saturday nights, and we'd be in Ohio, and then we'd go to Texas, and we'd run everywhere. So I got a ton of experience from 18 years old until I moved into NASCAR. So I started that in '83 and moved into NASCAR in '88, going from 6,000 pounds to basically 2,300 pounds in the gas series in a different type of car. So different world, but it definitely gave me a really good feel as a driver, like by the seat of your pants, that's the track, qualify and race.
You driving a transfer truck, driving one of those, and then going to a stock car. That has to be a big transition.
It was, but people think go a truck, but these trucks were so cool, and they were super fast. I mean, I was looking at some old video the other night of some races that we ran on dirt and then at Pocono, and I mean these trucks were built to race, so they weighed a lot, but they were lowered. They definitely didn't. I think probably one of the biggest adjustments for me was the steering box ratio, because for me, if you think, well, maybe your crew chief's going to think, well, you're a girl, so you're not going to want, you're going to want a different race, you're going to want it to turn easier, whereas for me, I was very much used to driving without power steering when I first started, and then later on to adapt to that was it totally made me feel like my car was loose going in and wasn't responding. I felt like I was driving on ice, whereas you just slow the steering down and it totally gave me a different feeling. And those are the little things that were very hard for me to get a rhythm with, because I didn't run full seasons all the time. I was more in the early days where you're running limited schedules and you're taking every opportunity you get. And what I always wanted to do was, just race full time, which I did. I got that opportunity, but just different time, different place now.
All right, in your situation, do you miss the sport now to where you'd like to be back in it, or are you past all that now?
No question. I mean, I'm sick to my stomach not being in Daytona right now. I always get really weird and moody in January when testing starts and get ready to go take Daytona. It took me a really long time to get. Really, I've never gotten used to it, and I had to I guess I made that decision when I made it in 2005. I wasn't in the situation that I wanted to be in. I'm not the start and park driver. I wasn't with a good team that had any type of chemistry at the very end in the Bachelorette Keith Coleman team, and I didn't want to go to the racetrack and just run in the back, and I just didn't feel like that was the place I needed to be. I didn't have a passion. I never lost the passion, but I wasn't out there for cameras and attention because I was a girl. I wanted to race, and I didn't feel that I had a good vision of moving forward with that situation. So it was just the timing of my life. My kids were getting a little older. They were getting involved in sports. I continued to seek sponsorship to be able to take it to a better team. And within doing that, I started doing some painting and mural and artwork for some drivers in their homes and little rooms here and there, and just word of mouth, I was able to start a business doing that. And now I do more things with fabric and just interior design, but it kind of just happened time and place. There's not a day that I miss being behind the wheel.
I could imagine. Now, to me, I see all the hoopla behind, everybody's making a big deal about Danica and all that. But back in the time when you came into the sport, and when I'd say Patty Moise was in the sport, the hoopla wasn't there. But do you think that people look down on that? That the girls were coming into racing. Did you have any problems with that? I guess is a better question.
No, honestly, I don't think that people look down on it. I just think it wasn't. NASCAR really didn't view it with open arms. They didn't need to. It was very much a sport at the top of its game. But I think the biggest difference between then and now is social media. And there's just a whole new access to getting media and marketing your team and conversing back and forth through Twitter and Instagram and just however, there's so many things that weren't there then that you can utilize now. And I think that I've always felt that if there was going to be a time that a female would be in Winston Cup full time and run a full season, and it amazes me that this is really the first year that it's really ever happened. I mean, Janet Guthrie really never ran a full season, and it was 21 years later when I ran the Daytona 500, being the second woman to do it, and then Danica running it after that. I think, people may question the fact that with the getting the pole, that Danica kind of came in there with such a powerful impact, but she also has a lot of people within her sponsor. They market, and the media and the way of marketing is a different world. I couldn't get somebody to let me do a photo shoot other than having a helmet under my arm and standing in front of the car in my races. I wanted to do things that were tastefully done, but would, show me in a more feminine world. But it just wasn't the time for that.
Got a question we got in our chat room. The question is, ask her about her furniture making. I understand you're making some furniture.
Supposed to be really talented at it.
I am, and I love it. It's called a happy chair, and I make all kinds of mixed. I guess I would describe it as like mixed fabric and texture, and I use a lot of vintage. But I create custom furniture. It's not necessarily all mixed and crazy. There are a lot of pieces that I'll create that just kind of come out of my head that may be that way, but then there's pieces that are leather and hide or just a linen. But I love chairs, and I wanted a happy chair, and so I decided I would create my own. But prior to that, I did the interior design and really built a good clientele with being in racing. It's a very tight family, so people trust you, and you have a good chemistry with them on going into their home, and it just was a good time for me to do that. So really just by word of mouth, that business built. I actually started doing that when I was pregnant with my kids in 96 and 97. I built a huge business that was based more on painting and faux finish and aging cabinetry, and I did Ernie and Kim Irvin's house, and then from there it kind of led to a lot Michael Waltrip, but that was all a lot of painting and doing more paint textures, and then I dropped that like a hot potato and went right back into racing in 99 and didn't turn back. And then when I officially retired when I retired in 2005, I started it back up again, but it kind of had a different feel. But I have a website, and I do a lot of online sales. My chairs, they're shipped and sold all over. Whoopi Goldberg bought one on my first sale, so that was a pretty exciting event.
Yeah. I was curious because when I was going back through your Facebook page, this is Roger, by the way, and I said, what in the world's all this furniture for? I thought you were just collecting or something for a while there.
Yep, no, but it's just my little happy chair business, and I do a lot of interior design. I just finished up last year Martin and Barn Truex Juniors, and I did Dale Junior's Whiskey River behind his house. I've done a lot of design work within the industry, and then in in Charlotte too, not all of just racing, but I have a website, and it's just ShawnaRobinson.com, and it'll lead you to a little bit of racing of 3, and then it'll lead you to also what I'm doing now.
Well, that's great. I mean, it's good that you've expanded out like that, and you do have a good reputation because I've heard people talk about it.
Thank you so much. It was funny. I came upon for some reason I was like looking at old stuff on YouTube. I didn't realize like you could go back to races and find like the videos, and I found the Atlanta pole when I got the pole in Atlanta in the Polaroid car in '94 when Mike Wallace and Joe Nemechek and I on the first lap had a little incident. And I'll never forget that day because Kyle Petty came over to interview me, and right before we went on camera, he's like, I don't know if you know this, but I just came from Joe Nemechek, and he basically said, Mike said he was going to do this before the race, like that whole thing. Just to go back and re-look at that was like a lot of emotion, but I think Kyle Petty thought I was a racer, so I can't confirm that. We'll have to ask him.
Well, I tell you what, I know you were a racer when you were racing, and I enjoyed watching you race, and I don't have any qualms about saying you're definitely a racer.
Oh, thank you so much, Roger. I appreciate that. And honestly, I know I was a racer, and I really was because of just the way I think I went through it. I wish I could have had the opportunity to show the ability I could have had running Cup full time, but things happen for a reason, and I'm very fortunate for all the great things I got the chance to do, and would love to help out any girls that are up and coming at this time.
Well, that's good. Well, we appreciate you taking time to.
We got to get you back on again when we got more time. Put you at the end, last segment. That way we can keep on going.
That sounds good. I would love to do that. Definitely.
All right. Well, we'll get back with you again, and we'll expand even more.
I might send you a text, by the way, and send you the video we did when we talked with Kyle when he first started talking about Danica.
I would love that.
Well, we appreciate your time, and then we'll get back with you real soon, and hopefully get you back on here and spend some more time with you.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. She's into more stuff than I thought she was.
That's cool. Oh, my God.
But I didn't know she did the Dale Earnhardt Whiskey River thing behind his house. I did not know she'd done that, but I did know she had done Martin Truex's house. I had heard about that. Matter of fact, it was on TV that she'd done it.
Hello?
Sterling Marlin, how you doing, sir?
All right.
This is Jack Dodson with That's Racing TV up in Hampton, Virginia. Let's talk Racing TV.
You're in bad shape today.
I know. Hey, look, he got me going.
You've been digging that pull out today. I just wore your ass out.
How's it going for you tonight?
All right. Working on the race car.
Working on a race car. Are you doing late models still out at Nashville?
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about on here is I know you got connections with James Finch and everything. What do you think about James getting out of the business? My son was working with James when you were there, and he's just one of those iconic people in the sport. We hate to see him go.
Well, he's a great guy. The cup racing, I think that's so expensive. It's impossible. A guy like him to try to compete. So it's coming down to where.
Are you at the point where you miss being in the cup cars and everything now?
When Daytona runs around, y'all. When you go to California, it's bad up here.
Well, the nice part is you can always say you're a Daytona 500 winner.
Yeah, that'll work pretty good.
But you would like to repeat that.
Tell us about the days you were back with Morgan McClure. I'm from down in that neck of the woods, and I don't know them personally, but I kept up with them a lot. What was it like working with those guys?
It was really good. They really worked hard on the play stuff. And, you know, had rough people build the motors. Just had a great, only looking calling shot, crew chief, and pretty good guy hanging the body, sitting in the field. Everything really come together good for them.
They had a very powerful organization down there at one point.
It did. I mean, it's kind of, I'm living nowhere, but they make it work.
They sure did, and you're right. It is out in the middle of nowhere. Then you moved over to Earnhardt Ganassi. What was that like working over there? And Tony Glover was with you over there too, right?
Yeah, Glove went over there, and had to come in, bought the Dodge field, and got a good equipment, good race car, good people, and started actually racing.
No, that's and
put it to it.
What? And now with you doing the racing out at Nashville, do your sons run out there at Nashville too?
Yeah, I won 2 out of 4, and he's won 2 so far, and that's the other.
Yeah, that's a good thing. You don't have Nick Harrison turning any wrenches on them cars sometimes, do you?
Don't have what now?
You don't have Nick Harrison helping you on some of them cars sometimes, do you?
Yeah, when he gets in there, man, it's just full of knowledge.
Nick's a good buddy of mine. You probably know my son. My son was Lee Dodson. He worked with Phoenix Racing when you were racing down there.
Yeah, I know his name. Yeah.
So it was he loved working down there at Phoenix, and he loved when you were there. Matter of fact, he was the one that said we ought to get you on the show and get you to tell a little bit about some racing history that you know about.
I know a little bit about it, not a whole lot. Let's get in trouble.
No, I've heard some stories about things that goes on down around Daytona when you're down there. I know you're a big hit at one of those restaurants I went to down in Daytona a couple years ago.
Yeah, I used to go there. Quite a bit.
Yeah, they got a lot of your stuff hanging up on the walls down there when I went down there.
Yeah. Good food. Good cold food, right? Good food.
Now you won the Daytona 500s a few times, 2 times. What was some of the other things that in racing that really sticks out in your mind that you really were happy to do?
One Darlington quad. Pretty tough little track to win at. One there quad. You know, one Michigan, one Vegas, one Charlotte. Yeah, I used to win a shortcut one back a lot. Never got a shortcut win.
And did you?
Sometimes no cigar. Had a field on the field and laid about half race. People went out. You know, here, there, and yonder, this and should have just a couple times. Didn't happen.
In your time that you were racing in Cup and everywhere else, did you ever have any real rivalries with other drivers that you and him just seem to find each other on the racetrack a lot and have a little problem every now and then?
Not really. I mean, I think myself and Rusty and Ricky Rudd, we've come through a really great time in that car. Things really grow. And, again, with all the racing, our racing, but just to see the growth in that car take off so much. And I watched 95 Daytona 500 the other day. Was infield packed, fans packed. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah, you're right. I was looking at the race this past weekend, and there was a lot of empty seats in the race. What do you think NASCAR needs to do to try to get some of these people back?
I don't know. I think the people, when it comes to car tomorrow, which is a safe car, they think we just never warmed up the car tomorrow. You know, I think it didn't favor nothing. I mean, Utah, the guy looks a lot better. But his cars in hand, I think it's just fixed them. Couple like it was.
So what do you with the new Gen 6 cars this year? Do you think that's a better move for them as far as what they had before?
I definitely do. Yeah. At least favor. Something on the show on forward.
All right. Do you get out to the races very often anymore? Do you go around them very often?
Not really. I ain't bad. I've done a couple deals with coolers. Everything's on the garage here. Nick's been down though. If they're tied up. I really don't. There's much strange face today. I don't really know. It's kind of different deal.
So what? You're racing out there at Nashville. Do you get the same excitement racing out there at Nashville that you used to in racing? Is it a lot of fun for you?
It is. I got guys thinking when I was first started racing. I said we won 2 out of 4. That's a good punch and cushion. One thing is Dolphin Lane. I'm building a new car right now. Getting ready to run in here next weekend. See what shakes out.
So you're happy with the way things are going with that. So you know that takes care of your racing fix. Yeah, you got it helps you get through the racing stuff.
Yes, it is.
Now I know one of the guys that races out there. You probably know him, Andy Brehm. You know him?
Andy Brehm.
Yeah.
Hey, I like a Frankston. He's damn Tennessee boy.
I was with him in Daytona a couple years ago when he was down helping Nick, and I heard he was racing out there at Nashville this year, or has been racing out at Nashville.
He has. My son-in-law goes with the car. A couple weeks ago, won the race, but that's just it over with modified.
So, when Nick comes back around there, do you ever get him out there to check your stuff out? And
he'll come down here and check me out. He told me not to take his old girlfriend. Up for 1, 2 o'clock today.
So, you've taken your late models up to Finch's shop and had them work on them up there too, haven't you?
Yeah, I went up there a couple years ago, put it on the pull-down machine, seen where everything was, what we need to be doing, whatnot.
You don't have any good stories about old Nick that I can tease him about, do you?
Actual doctor, time
I was trying to get a hold of him and let him know I was going to get you on the show tonight because I was going to get you on here and get him on here and try to get some good stories out.
Yeah. That's about the time, man.
Well, we appreciate your time talking to us tonight, and hope you do well out there at Nashville this coming weekend, and we'll try to get you back on here and when you can tell us about winning a track championship out there.
All right, that'll work.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. It was an honor to have you on here.
Thanks.
I was going to try to get him to thank his sponsors he at least has on his late model.
I was pulling him back. He was typical Sterling Marlin, man.
I don't know if it was because, he said he was working on a race car, so I don't know if he was more intent working on that. And I hate to say it, for as seasoned as he should be, that he's like the young kids. You got to give me something more than just a one-word answer.
Yeah.
You know? You got any good stories? Yeah.
But that's him. I mean, when I've seen him before and seen him down at the racetrack when Lee was with him, that's what he was then. He was you had to pull it out. But I've heard he has some stories to tell. I was trying to get him to give me some.
I think he's worried about getting in trouble on it.
He might have got Nick in trouble talking about he goes home and chases his old girlfriend.
Oh gosh.
So never can tell. Never see how that works out.
I'll tell you, some of our people.
But at least he's having a good time doing what he's doing. So I guess that's what matters.
That's all it takes. I mean, get out there, do what you love to do, and heck if anybody doesn't like what you're doing.
That's right. I agree with you.
Been there, done that. It ain't no fun. Don't do it. But anyhow, I'm trying to sit here and run through all the doggone messages I have here on freaking Facebook. Oh, goodness.
Well, I enjoyed that. We're going to have to get Shawna back on here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd like to have been able to stretch that more out with her because there was a lot of good stuff she had. There was some stuff I wanted to hit on her with, too, because she said, women trying to come up and get into this stuff, it may be something we introduce her and Terry together and see how that works out, too. You never know. I mean, there's a lot of female racers out there that are looking for some help and guidance. So,
and she's pretty visible around the Charlotte area and stuff. And I'm sure she's got a lot of people that she can have some inside pull with to get some help. So, maybe well worth the time to bring her back on here again within a couple weeks and let her try it again.
Yeah. Okay, here. Let's try to get this. Hope everybody had a good time with us.
I enjoyed it.
We had a good time with our guest, and hopefully you were able to bring it into your home and share it with you. That's something different.
Yeah, that is different. You did good with that one.
Woo!
I'll be proud of you.
Oh, don't even tell him because he'll just give me a hard time anyway.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Robert Richardson Jr., driver of the number 23 Dodge Challenger for R3 Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and you're watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Timothy Peters, driver of the number 17 Toyota NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Here's your 2011 champion, David Brehm.
Hi, this is David Polens, driver of the 33 NASCAR Late Model, 2011 Old Dominion Speedway track champion. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm Sam Hunt, driver 42 car on the thing Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, my name is Natalie Sather. I drive the 94 K&N Lady Eagle safety wear, Butler built seats, bell helmets, hooker harness seat belts, number